Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So here's another deck profile for you guys today. Actually, it's a deck that I haven't picked up in quite a while, and let's just say it got a huge boost thanks to the new Blue Eyes White Destiny structure deck. So yeah, Blue Eyes has just been literally on shelf simply because like deck just got hit so many times, funny enough, with Hauke Fibrex and Link Rebo being banned some time ago, and yeah, I just couldn't really make Blue Eyes work anymore. So I just like, you know what, let's just put it on shelf. If it ever gets new support, we'll play it. And yeah, Konami gave us a structure deck. And I gotta say, all the new support cards are crazy. And funny enough, this deck can actually do quite a lot, even if you just use cards strictly from the structure deck, which is what I'm going to show you guys today. I literally just bought 3 structure decks, uh, did some cooking, and yeah, I figured I'd just share with you guys my budget version of this deck. Where, like I said, you just buy 3 structure decks, and you literally have a good deck just like that. So let's go and get started. Now, my build might be slightly different compared to some of the other budget builds you may have already seen, but it's going to be relatively similar. So starting off with 3 copies of the main dragon, Blue Eyes White Dragon. Definitely got to play this at 3 since, you know, there's obviously no Primate core. Yeah, like 3 Blue Eyes is good because, like, the whole idea is, like, he never really feels bricky anymore. Like, you mainly just want to get him to the graveyard as quickly as possible, and you have multiple ways of doing this. So, in fact, more consistent ways to do that. So, yeah, just like, yeah, Blue Eyes White Dragon, having that at 3 is not too bad. Next for our main starter, 3 copies of Sage with Eyes of Blue. On normal summon, you can add either any one level 1 light tuner monster, and you have a lot of targets for that. So it gets you the new Maiden of White, it gets you Master of Eyes of Blue, and you can even get Effect Veiler, funny enough, because Effect Veiler is a tuner monster, and it's level 1, so wink wink, there you go. It also has a hand effect, which some people tend to forget, where you target an effect monster, send it to the grave along with this card, and you can special summon any one Blue Eyes monster from your deck. So, like, I know that might seem like a neg too, but honestly, for a deck like this, like, you're going to get some kind of value off of it. Moving on, 3 copies of Maiden of White. So this card is actually the newest addition to the deck, and I love what she can do. So this card, you can either send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, and then you can immediately activate a True Light from your deck and place it in your spell and trap card zone. And that's actually something that this deck really needed, because like True Light is a fantastic card. Problem was, we just had no consistent way of getting to it. Unless you just kept, you know, playing a lot of draw power cards like Trade In or Cards of Consonance. Now you don't even have to play those anymore thanks to this card. Similar to the original Maiden, if she's targeted for an attack, she can special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon directly from the graveyard, which might come up, but not often really. However, her secondary effect does, where if you special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon specifically, she can special summon herself right back, and just like that, you can immediately go into a Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, or any other level 9 Dragon Synchro monster that you might need to go into. So, yeah, Maiden of White just has so much utility going for it. 1 Master of Eyes of Blue. This card's actually pretty good, especially now, because like now that we have also a consistent way of getting into Mausoleum of White, he basically recycles any one of your level 1 light tuners that you might need. So you can get Sage immediately right back and then just use its hand effect. Or if you just want to recycle an Effect Veiler, well, there you go. And he has a similar effect with Sage, where if you you can shuffle this card back into your deck by targeting 1 effect monster you control, send it to the graveyard, and special summon back a Blue Eyes monster from your grave. Moving on, I'm actually only playing 2 copies of Neo Kaiser Seahorse. I know some people like to play this at 3 in the budget version, but I don't personally, just because like I just see it more as an extender. Yeah, it's great for level modulation, but I mean, like, it is searchable, so mainly the fact that it is a tuner monster, and it's also a dragon type monster, so that's also pretty good. So actually, hold on, let me scratch that. I don't think it is searchable in any way. I'm just double checking here. All right, disregard that first comment. It's not actually searchable, so you actually would have to hard draw into it. Never mind. I just had to double check one of the cards, and so far, yeah, I don't see a card that can actually search this thing. So yeah, disregard that. But anyway, moving on here. I'm playing 2 copies of Dictator D. I actually love the fact that I can play this again, because he doesn't eat up your normal summon. You can literally just Foolish Burial a Blue Eyes White Dragon, and you got a free special summon just like that. And I forgot to mention that Neo Kaiser Seahorse can also special summon itself for free as long as Blue Eyes White Dragon's on the field. But anyway, Dictator D, yeah. You send a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand or deck to the graveyard, special summon this card, and then you can discard 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon or a card that mentions it, then target a Blue Eyes monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So just so, like, it has a lot of utility. Now, for some of the other big boss monsters that I'm playing the 1 Jet Dragon, just because it does have that protection effect. Blue Eyes Abyss, because I am running the ritual lineup, so yeah, just letting you guys know that now. One Dragon Spirited White for back row removal, and of course one Chaos Max. It's just like a alternate win con in case, you know, because like this card can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects, so it's just such a hard monster to out. And if your opponent happens to leave a monster in defense mode, you know, you get double piercing damage. So anyway, that's it for that. Let's go ahead and move on to the spells. All right, for spells, playing 3 copies of Wishes for Eyes of Blue. This card is essentially a better version of Melody of the Awakening Dragon, mainly because of the fact that it is in fact searchable with True Light. So this card reads that you discard 1 card, add 1 level 1 light tuner monster and 1 spell or trap that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand, except itself. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon you control, equip 1 Blue Eyes monster from your extra deck as an equip spell, and then it gives it 400 attack points. And this is actually pretty relevant, especially because like you can just basically go into Tyrant Dragon this way, because like without having to, you know, just use Ultimate Fusion right out the gate and just like shuffle back your materials. It's just better just to equip that Blue Eyes and boom, you already got yourself a free Tyrant Dragon. Next up, 2 copies of Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons. This is essentially E-Telly for Blue Eyes. Special summon in defense mode 1 Blue Eyes monster from your deck, and if you don't control a Blue Eyes White Dragon, you have to special summon the original Blue Eyes White Dragon. But again, that's fine, that's what we want. So, like, yeah, it also has a secondary effect where if you can banish this card, perform a fusion summon, but of course you can only use 1 effect of this card once per turn and only once that turn. 1 Ultimate Fusion, you know, just so you can recycle your resources and go into one of your other fusion monsters. 1 Mausoleum of White, because it is searchable. And I decided to throw this card in as a bonus, simply because Mausoleum does have a graveyard effect, if you happen to lose it, where you can banish it, and then you can search out this card next. 1 Burst Stream of Destruction, which is basically Raigeki for Blue Eyes. And again, it's searchable, so as long as you control Blue Eyes White Dragon, just nuke all of your opponent's monsters. But of course, you can't attack the turn, well, Blue Eyes can't attack the turn this card activates, so just bear that in mind. And of course 1 Chaos Form. As for my traps, I'm playing the 1 True Light. It is searchable, as I stated before, with Maiden. Or not searchable, but you can activate it immediately due to Maiden's effects. I am playing the 1 Ultimate Creature of Destruction. This card's actually pretty annoying if you play it correctly. Target a Blue Eyes monster you control. Basically makes it immune to card effects. And if your opponent battles that monster, the monster that the Blue Eyes battles will get destroyed automatically. Also, makes it so your Blue Eyes monsters can't be destroyed in battle. Well, at least the one that you targeted. And if you special summon Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can reset this card from your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. And last but not least, 1 Majesty of the White Dragons. This card is really strong. And honestly, when I read this card, I was like, holy crap, this card does a lot. So up to 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons in your hand, field, or graveyard, and then destroy any number, destroy equal number of cards your opponent controls. And this does not target. Also, you can banish this card from your graveyard, perform a ritual summon for 1 ritual monster from your hand by tributing Blue Eyes White Dragon. So that's actually really good. The fact that it also gets you access to Chaos Max Dragon, so like, wow, this card's nuts. But anyway, that's it for that. And funny enough, we actually do have a way to recycle this too, which I'll get into momentarily. Let me get these. All right, now for my non-engine. This structure deck actually comes with a lot of hand traps. In fact, just 1 structure deck alone gives you 3 of this one, or rather 2 of these, and then of course you can just bump it up to 3 once you get them. So 3 Effect Veiler, 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Imperm, and 1 Called by the Grave, and that's 40 cards exact. All right, so now for my extra deck, playing 3 copies of the new Spirit with Eyes of Blue. So yeah, this is a link 1 for Blue Eyes, and it's actually a pretty broken one. So when it's link summon, you search out Mausoleum of White. So we already know that, because Mausoleum of White is essentially a double summon for the deck, and a Foolish Burial too. I forgot to mention that fact. Also, you can tribute this card as cost, and special summon 1 Blue Eyes monster from your hand or graveyard. But if you special summon an effect monster, its effects will be negated that turn, and it cannot attack. But I mean, most of the time you're just gonna go for the vanilla anyway. So like Spirit with Eyes of Blue, yeah, it's pretty cracked. And the fact that its materials are super easy for this deck. All it requires is any 1 level 4 or lower dragon or spellcaster monster. So yeah, that's insane. So like, I know some people have been considering playing an invoked version of this deck, and honestly, I don't blame them for doing that, because like, Alistair the Invoker is a level 4 spellcaster, so yeah, there you go. 2 hiatus seal, just because like it's hiatus seal it bounces back cards and gets you access to another dragon. 3 blue-eyed spirit dragon, definitely something you want to max out on for this deck. Of course, when I play my competitive build, I'm probably going to bump it down to just 2 because I think 2 is more than enough. 2 copies of Blue Ice Ultimate Spirit Dragon. We can, in fact, hard make this, but most of the time, we're probably just going to bring this off of Spirit Dragon's effect. So just bear that in mind, because like there's just a lot of ways we can bring this out. But I like it for the fact that it is an Omni Negate. Of course, it only negates effects that are activated on the field, so just don't forget that little fact. But other than that, that's still pretty good. And also, your opponent cannot banish cards from your graveyard. So basically, it says anti-Bestial. So like your opponent cannot Bestial your graveyard away. 1 Azure Eyes, just because it's still a really good card for this deck. So I figured why not. Playing 2 copies of Tyrant Dragon. It's immune to traps, can attack all monsters, and yeah, it's just great for the OTK. Plus, if this monster deals if this card is shoot, sorry, I got my tongue twisted here. Once per turn, at the end of the damage step, if this card battled, you can target 1 trap in your graveyard, set it. So, yeah, that's actually a really cool effect. And honestly, one thing I kind of noticed is that this card is actually a soft once per turn. So if you happen to have 2 of these, you can essentially reset 2 trap cards if you wanted to. So yeah, just kind of like giving you guys some little insight there. But anyway, moving on. 1 Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. It has a pretty good graveyard effect, which some people tend to forget about. Where if your opponent targets any one of your Blue Eyes monsters while this card's in your graveyard, you can banish it and just negate that effect and destroy it. And finally, to round it up, the 1 Indigo Eye Silver Dragon, also a great OTK piece. It's only really good if you're just trying to go for the OTK, and especially if you're going second. Because, yeah, like it brings back a normal monster, gives it 1,000 attack points. And the fact that also on XC Summon, it negates all face-up cards your opponent controls. So that is actually pretty good. So, like, just so that way they can't really disrupt you while you just kind of go for the kill, But anyway, that's it for the extra deck. Now for the side deck, which honestly I'm kind of surprised at myself I was able to piece together something, but got to work with what you got, right? So another hand trap that came with the structure deck, 3 copies of Nib, 2 copies of Alternative. I kind of just want to see this as more of a going second piece, because like, yeah, if you just want to pop cards, or bait something out, I think Alternative is the way to go. 1 Dragon Spirit White, just to have an additional back row removal card, because like this thing didn't really come with a whole lot of back row removal, so figure why not. 1 Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon. Similar to the Chaos Max, can't be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. It also has an effect where it basically can force your opponent's monsters to go into defense mode, and it can also do piercing damage. So that could come up if you're just trying to like go for an easy win with a Chaos Max Dragon. Additional copies of Ultimate Fusion, just because like it is a quick play fusion spell, and also I forgot to mention that it also pops cards if you shuffle back Blue Eyes White Dragons. 2 more copies of Burst Room of Destruction. I figured, let's just have more Raigekis. An additional Mausoleum of White to go with it too. And last but not least, 3 copies of Destined Rivals. It's essentially a one-sided skill drain as long as you have a Blue Eyes White Dragon or Dark Magician. So figured why not, right? It's searchable. Blue Eyes White Dragon's name's listed in the text, and let's go for it. All right, so give me 1 second, and we'll go and I'll show you guys just a general combo line on how to perform this deck. So give me 1 second, guys. All right, everyone. So as promised, I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown of how this deck works. So I'll just show you guys one test hand, just the general combo lines that you want to follow, especially if you're looking to build this deck. And honestly, like, I would actually recommend playing this deck. This deck is actually so much fun. It's really good. And like I said, if you just pick up 3 structure decks, you're already off to the races just like that, for the main deck at least. You'll probably want to change up the side and extra decks more, but yeah, like there's just so much you can do with Blue Eyes. Most people are probably going to lean towards the Primate build, but if you don't have access to that engine, even like me right now, I don't really have that engine whatsoever. There are other engines you can dabble with, like you can go Bestials, you can go Invoke, funny enough, because like Alistair the Invoker can make Spirit with Eyes of Blue. So like there's so many options out there. For me, I might dabble with the pure variant more for now, and then see what other versions I can just try out. But anyway, let's go and get started. So let's see what we got to open with. Okay, we already got Chaos Max Dragon, which is pretty good, so all we need access to is Chaos form. Oh, actually, even better, we got the Majesty of the White Dragon, so we could definitely use that later. And last but not least, okay, Imperm. So, the one thing about Blue Eyes, like, it was always notorious for being bricky, and now, like, as long as you see any one of your good starter pieces, you're going to be good. I can guarantee you that right now. So first things first, we're actually going to go ahead and use the effect of Maiden of White. We're going to send her to the graveyard and immediately activate True Light from our deck. All right. Next, we're going to go ahead and use the effect of our True Light. We're actually going to go ahead and set one spell or trap from our deck that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon. Now, you might be thinking, like, why not just summon the Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand or graveyard immediately? Well, we could, but there's actually going to be another way we can pull that off, so just give me 1 second. We're actually going to go ahead and add, or rather set, Wishes for Eyes Blue, because it does mention Blue Eyes White Dragon specifically. So we'll set that. And then we're going to activate the Wishes, because it is a normal spell. We can just activate it immediately. We're going to discard the Blue Eyes White Dragon. And then we can add any one level 1 Light Tuner from our deck, along with a spell or trap that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon. So I'm going to add Sage. And we're also going to add Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons, because it is essentially an E-Telly for the deck. All right, next up, I'm going to go ahead and normal summon Sage with Eyes of Blue. We're going to go ahead and use him to search out our Master with Eyes of Blue. All right, cool. Not going to shuffle too much because we're actually going to go back in there in just a moment. Next, we're going to go ahead and link off Sage for the new Spirit of the Eyes of Blue. And because he was link summoned, we can add Mausoleum of White. We're going to go and proceed to activate Mausoleum of White. And let's go ahead and use the effect now to go ahead and target our Spirit with Eyes of Blue. We're actually going to go ahead and dump another normal monster from our deck, in which case it's going to be another Blue Eyes White Dragon. Cool. All right, now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go and get the additional normal summon thanks to Mausoleum's effect. Normal summon Master with Eyes of Blue. In this case, we're going to go and add back the Sage from our grave back to our hand. And now we're going to go ahead and use Sage's hand effect, targeting the Master, send it to the graveyard, and then we're going to special summon out one Blue Eyes monster from our deck. And we do have a couple of options. You can either go, if you want the additional protection, you can go for Jet Dragon, or if you want to go ahead and bring out Chaos Max Dragon, now that we have access have a way to get to the ritual spell, let's go for the Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon. So we're going to go and special summon Blue Eyes Abyss. And then if this card is special summon, add one ritual spell or one polymerization, in which case, might as well just get the ritual spell. So, that's the wrong card. Here it is, Chaos Form. So, boom, we already got that. And then, we're going to go ahead and activate Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons. This will allow us to special summon any Blue Eyes monster from our... Actually, hold on. Let me backtrack on that first. We're actually going to go ahead and use Spirit with Eyes of Blue first. We're going to tribute him to special summon out Blue Eyes White Dragon. And because Blue Eyes White Dragon was just special summon, we can special summon Maiden now, because as long as while she's in our graveyard, a Blue Eyes White Dragon is special summon, you can special summon her. Alright, now we'll activate Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons. So we can special summon in defense mode one Blue Eyes monster from our hand, deck, or graveyard, or even our banished pile. And if we don't control Blue Eyes White Dragon, we have to special summon the Blue Eyes White Dragon specifically. But in this case, we can actually summon something else out for it. So we're going to go ahead and bring out... Well, I was going to do Jet Dragon. And honestly, you know what? I should have saved it for Abyss, but that's okay. We're actually going to go ahead and bring out the thinking if I should go Dragon Spirit or White, because if I can get a Blue Eyes White Dragon in our hand... No, we're going to go for another Blue Eyes White Dragon, because, like, I need something for Chaos form, and this will definitely help, so we'll do that. Cool. So it's like, see how, like, everything's already starting to fall together now? Alright, so now what we're going to go ahead and do is... we're going to go ahead and do a Synchro Summon here. I'm going to go ahead and Synchro off Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon. And Maiden with Eyes of Blue. To bring out Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. And then, we actually got a couple more options here. We could, in fact, make Indigo Eyes almost immediately. Just because, like, it's a big monster. He's going to be 4,000 attack. But at the same time, I kind of don't want that because, like, I'd rather just use him for the OTK. So instead, we're actually going to go ahead and just activate our Chaos form. We're going to tribute off this Blue Eyes White Dragon. Bring out Chaos Max Dragon. And to round up our turn, we're actually going to set Majesty and Imperm. And the funny thing is, like, with Majesty, we can actually pop 3 cards now that we actually managed to access all 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. So, like, yeah, there's a lot of things we can do. Although, there is one last thing we can do right now, just for the sake of it. We're actually going to go ahead and banish Wishes for Eyes of Blue. We're going to equip Blue Eyes White Dragon with Neo Blue Eyes White Ultimate Dragon. And then, we're going to tribute it, well, just send them to the graveyard to special summon our Tyrant Dragon, because it just there's 2 different ways we can make them. And as long as the Blue Eyes White Dragon is equipped with a fusion monster, you can just literally just contact fusion that way. And it's immune to traps, so that's also really good. So either way, like, yeah, we got a pretty formidable board. During my opponent's turn, I'm probably just gonna tag this out for a Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon, because, you know, we do get a negate off of that. And also keeps them from banishing stuff from my graveyard too. So, like, yeah, this is already like a pretty crazy board. Chaos Max is already a difficult monster to out. And not only that, but we also still have the True Light in play. So during our opponent's turn, just special summon back a Blue Eyes White Dragon and you're off to the races, essentially. So, like, yeah, it's just crazy to think that Blue Eyes can actually do all this now and make some pretty big boards. So, but anyway, that's just what I wanted to show you guys, and hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll catch you guys again next time.